There's the fire truck. Fire truck. There goes the fire truck.
There goes the fire
Cape Canaveral Fire Rescue. There's the police.
What do you think you're gonna find now? Oh, goodbye. Good luck. Good riddance.
All right, here we go. The power of now. Chapter 10. Chapter 10. The meaning of surrender.
That's good. I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
You didn't do it?
The other guy did.
The meaning of surrender. Let's see how this starts. The meaning of surrender. Serenity now. Surrender now. Acceptance of the now.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned surrender a few times.
Right.
I don't like the idea. It sounds somewhat
Childish.
fatalistic.
Fatalistic, yeah.
If we always accept the way things are, we are not going to make any effort to improve them.
That's right.
It seems to me that what progress is all about, both in our personal lives and collectively, is not to accept the limitations of the present, but to strive to go beyond them and create something better.
Right.
If we hadn't done this, we would still be living in the caves.
Get out of that cave.
How do you reconcile surrender with changing things and getting things done?
Because it does. Those people don't like that. They don't like surrender.
Yeah, but how do you reconcile surrender with changing things and getting things done?
Because people, oh boy, I got there first.
Okay, that's right. People will get there first. They'll get the cheese
That's right.
because they get off their butts.
That's
And
right.
they don't just, oh well, the cheese will come to me. No, they get up and they go get the cheese, and they get the cheese pizza. The ones that don't get the cheese pizza. They get crackers.
They don't get nothing.
Nothing. To some people, surrender may have negative connotations, implying defeat, giving up,
That's defeat, all right.
failing to rise to the challenge of life, becoming lethargic, and so on. True surrender, true surrender, however, is something entirely different.
That's what they say. Who's that? The card guy?
It's in the book.
The guy that wrote it.
Yeah, it does not mean to passively put up with whatever situation you find yourself in and to do nothing about it. This surrender in here means something different. It means, nor does it mean cease making plans or initiating positive actions.
That's right.
Surrender is the simple but profound wisdom that yielding to rather than opposing the flow of life. Yield to the flow of life. If it's raining, be happy that the yard's getting wet. You don't think, oh, now I can't cut the grass.
Yeah.
Don't be unhappy about it.
No, be happy.
Find a reason to do something different that's even better. Go with the flow of life.
That's right.
The only place where people spend a lot of their time being unhappy about the flow of life.
That's right.
You know, go with the flow of life. The only place where you can experience the flow of life is the now.
Now.
The now.
Right.
So to surrender is to accept the present moment unconditionally and without reservation. It is to relinquish inner resistance to what is. Inner resistance is to say no to what is. Inner resistance is to say no to what is.
Right.
Through mental judgment and emotional negativity. It is. That's what it is. The rose is bending over. It's bending over. The coffee cup is there. It's there. You're
Right.
there smiling and laughing. That's good. There's another rose. Here's a little brush.
Yeah.
There's a rug.
Yeah.
What, are we going to start saying we got to move these things around to make ourselves happy? No.
Of course not.
which means that there is a gap between, okay, it becomes particularly pronounced when things go wrong.
Right.
People have emotional negativity.
Uh-huh.
When things go wrong, which means that there is a gap between demands or rigid expectations of your mind and what is.
What is? Yeah.
That is the pain gap.
Pain gap.
Yeah, when things don't go the way your mind wants them to go.
That's right.
Is the pain gap.
The pain
The
gap.
pain gap. If you have lived long enough, you will know that things go wrong quite often. It is precisely at those times that surrender needs to be practiced if you want to eliminate pain and sorrow from your life.
Right.
Acceptance of what is immediately frees you from mind identification and thus reconnects you with being.
Uh-huh.
Resistance is the mind.
The mind.
Surrender is a purely inner phenomenon.
Yeah.
It does not mean that on the outer level you cannot take action and change the situation.
That's right.
It is a purely inner phenomenon. In fact, it is not the overall situation that you need to accept when you surrender, but just the tiny segment called the now.
And now.
For example,
Blame that.
if you were stuck in the mud somewhere, you would say, "Okay, I resign myself to being stuck in the mud." Resignation is not surrender. You don't need to accept an undesirable or unpleasant life situation, nor do you need to deceive yourself and say that there is nothing wrong with being stuck in the mud. No, you recognize fully that you want to get out of it.
Right.
You then narrow your attention down to the present moment without mentally labeling it in any way. This
Right.
means that there is no judgment of the now.
Right.
Therefore, there is no resistance, no emotional negativity.
Uh-huh.
You accept the isness of the moment,
Right. It's Nick.
the isness,
Yeah.
the busyness, the sleepiness, the stuck in the mudness
Right.
of the moment. Then you take action and do all that you can to get out of the mud. Such action I call positive action.
Positive.
Positive action.
Gotta have that.
It is far more effective than negative action.
Yes, it is.
That's right. Which arises out of anger, despair, and frustration.
Yes.
Until you achieve the desired result, you continue to practice surrender by refraining from labeling the now.
Right.
Do not label the now.
Do not label
Accept it.
the now. Yeah.
Let me give you a visual analogy to illustrate the point I am making. You are walking along a path at night, surrounded by thick fog. But you have a powerful flashlight that cuts through the fog and creates a narrow, clear space in front of you.
Yes.
The fog is your life situation, which includes past and future. The flashlight is your conscious presence.
Right.
The clear space is the now.
The now.
Not surrender. Non-surrender hardens your
Mhm.
physiological form, the shell of the ego, and so creates a
Right.
strong sense of separateness.
Uh-huh.
The world around you, and people in particular, come to be perceived as threatening. The unconscious compulsion to destroy others through judgment arises, as does the need to compete and dominate. Even nature becomes your enemy, and your perceptions and interpretations are governed by fear,
That's right.
the mental disease that we
Fear.
call paranoia.
Fear is next.
What
Fear is next.
is next? Paranoia is only slightly more acute form of this normal but dysfunctional state of consciousness. Not only your psychological form, but also your physical form. Your body becomes hard and rigid through resistance.
Right.
Tension arises in
Right.
different parts of the body. The body as a whole contracts.
Right.
The free flow of life energy through the body, which is essential for the healthy functioning, is greatly restricted.
That's right.
Body work and certain forms of physical therapy can be helpful in restoring the flow, but unless you practice surrender in your everyday life, those things can only give temporary symptom relief since the cause, the resistance pattern, is not being dissolved. You have to relax and surrender, or all these tensions are going to keep causing the body to be unrelaxed. You can go do yoga for an hour and become relaxed, but as soon as you start getting frustrated with the now, the
You're lost.
person's lost again. They have to go do yoga again to relax. Better is to surrender in the now.
That's right.
There is something within you that remains unaffected by the transient circumstances that make up your life situation, and only through surrender do you have access to it. It is your life, your very being, which exists externally in the timeless realm of the present.
That's right.
Finding this life is the one thing that is needed, that Jesus talks about.
Yeah.
See, Jesus talked about this.
And
See?
so Jesus.
Yes. Jesus talked about this. They said that Jesus said, finding this life is the one thing that is needed. If you find your life situation unsatisfactory or even intolerable, it is only by surrendering first that you can break the unconscious resistance pattern that perpetuates that situation. Surrender.
Absolutely right.
It says it is only by surrendering first that you can break the unconscious resistance pattern that perpetuates the situation.
That's right.
Surrendering.
Uh-huh.
Surrender is perfectly compatible with taking action. Now, I think I'm going to stop here and I'll start another. I'll continue after this because the recording becomes too long.
I think you should.
Page 208.
Uh-huh.
You think I should?